I'm joined here with Ken Rutherford, the Battlefords candidate with the Maverick Party. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Shelby. It's wonderful to be here.
I want to start off by asking, what exactly is your campaign platform and what do you stand for?
The party platforms are long and extensive, so you don't want me to read you off a 10-page document. In short, what the Maverick Party is representing the West and only the West. So they're only running candidates west of the Manitoba border and only running candidates in areas that won't split a vote and let a Liberal through. And anything that is good for the West, we stand up for. Anything that harms the West, we stand against. And it's just that simple. So basically everything just falls out of what I've just told you. That's the base of the platform. Now myself, I've always been a conservative voter all my life since I was 18. And just like many others in this area, I've become frustrated and felt politically homeless over the last couple of years here, where I feel like the Conservatives are now chasing the votes in Ontario and Quebec. You know, for example, supporting the carbon tax, and we're opposed to the carbon tax. And it's just a numbers game. There's 199 seats out of 338 in Ontario and Quebec, and just a numbers game. So I guess here I am, we're in the Maverick Party, but in short, we're running for the West and only for the West.
And is there a message that you'd like to share to constituents ahead of the election?
Well, I would say in this area, it's a heavy conservative area. In my area on the Battlefords, Lloydminster, Rosemary Falk is the incumbent, and she had 80% of the votes in the last election. When we explained the Maverick platform to most people in this area, they would say, listen, I'm worried about vote splitting because we can't let a Liberal through. And I'm like-minded. I'm not a Liberal fan. I've never voted Liberal, especially now. And so having a Liberal make it their way through would be, I think, not a good thing. So the biggest fear in this area is vote splitting. Ken, I would vote for you, but as long as vote splitting doesn't let a Liberal through. So when I explained to them, in the last election, Rosemary Falk had 28,000 votes. The Liberal candidate, Larry Ingram, I believe, had around 2,000. Maybe I'm up by 500. But when I explained to them that there's no way you can split 28,000 votes in two ways and let the Liberal through, then they say, oh, wait a minute, you're going to represent the West. You're community minded, and you won't split the vote and let a Liberal through. I'm 100% behind you. So once we explain the vote splitting, that's the biggest concern people have. And that usually is like, well, it's easy to get behind. You know, just you're going to represent the West. You're going to stand up for us because Central Canada, you know, Ottawa isn't listening to us, and they are actually opposing us in many regards. It's time for us to do something different. So that would be the biggest thing I'd say, Shelby.
Now, how exactly have you been spreading your message? Have you been knocking on doors?
Yes, we've done it all. We've done a lot on social media. We've got a ton of signs. There is a lot of support in this area. You just drive around Lloydminster and you'll see Maverick signs on many properties, many businesses. So that it's surprising the support that the party's had. The party's only a year old. And so door knocking, social media, signs, meet and greets, candidate forums, we've done it all. And it's encouraging to see the amount of support behind us. It's unbelievable, actually.
What's your plan from now till the election?
We are doing something every single night somewhere. My plan is to run as hard as I can, cross that finish line, and send a message to Central Ottawa, or to Central Canada, to Ottawa, that the West is done with the abuse. And so basically it's just door knocking, more signs, visiting people, meet and greets. So that's it. Just talking to people, letting them know that we're here for the West and we won't split the vote and let a Liberal through, and it's time for change.
Now, could you expand a bit more on what your message is to people that want to vote for you but are worried that it'll split?
Basically, what I tell them is I'm a hardworking person. I pay my bills. I actually don't even like politicians, to be honest. I'm not a career politician. I teach at Lakeland College. I have my own business. If people hire me, and if I don't do what I say I'm going to do and represent them well, fire me. Right? It's just that simple. So that would be my biggest message.
Perfect. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Ken.
Thank you, Shelby.